What is up, Beta Gang? Hope everybody is doing great today. It has been a wacky day. I mean, come on. Tesla reaching all-time highs. Just keeps screaming up beginning of the new year. And you're missing a little guy called Jack Ma. Where is that guy? I mean, I don't know. But I bet you he would drop a thumbs up and subscribe if he was here with us today. Nonetheless, today was a crazy day, right? New Year just started out. I don't even know where to go. I mean, I think everybody was repositioning today. Now there's a lot going on. A lot of news came out. There is actually quite a bit going on this week. I think the Fed notes come out this week. I know Como was talking about a highly contagious COVID-19 strand found in upstate New York. Tesla and EVs are still smashing it. Everything else pretty much dumped. I don't really know what the driver was. I believe there was something else with there was a mass killing, I believe. I don't remember where that was at. I think that was initially out. I mean, just tons of bad news just kept falling out today. It was pretty interesting to say the least. I know gold ran up. I think again, just positioning. I know the beginning of the year is always kind of wacky anyway. Tech held for a while and then everything dumped, but the EVs kept running. Tesla, as expected, was up quite a bit. I was holding that option, so it went up quite a bit this morning. I actually sold it before it dumped, and then it popped back up towards the end of the day. But I think we'll get into the charts here in a second and really talk about Tesla. But as far as the rest of the week, I took some new positions. I did actually sell a lot of my Tesla. I was pretty heavily in Tesla, so I did sell a good chunk of my Tesla shares. I still have a core position, which I won't sell, but ultimately what I'm looking for is Tesla to pop down, pull back. Everything needs a pullback, and today kind of reflected that. So I got out of a lot of positions, even my Airbnb Leap. I ended up removing that and grabbing shares instead. Just to avoid more premium burn on that one. Right now, I went into it without really worrying about what was going to happen with it. But I figured I'd flip what was left on that contract and turn it into shares, just because of the uncertainty of what's going on, and also freeing up that Tesla money. Wanted to kind of see where everything's going. So I don't want to go too heavy or anything. Like I said, I did get in some positions today, some new positions. I did sell another position as well. I'll get into that as well. But yeah, crazy day, crazy week. I wouldn't get too crazy. I think we're still kind of fill everything out tomorrow. But let me quit jabbering here and let's throw up the old charts, kind of see what we're looking at tomorrow. Let me go full screen on this guy. All right. Yeah, I was looking at NIO. I still haven't traded this thing. It's gone up. It might just hit 60. I saw some stuff today about NIO. This is if you guys are really into EV, this is why I don't trade NIO. And a lot of the EV stocks, right? They got to have a proof of concept. I know they're still they have someone else building the cars for them and stuff. And I ran across this other YouTuber, and he was saying that I guess there's a Chinese article out that's saying there's a bunch of false numbers on NIO. So if that is to be true here on whatever date, I think they're supposed to be on Saturday or something. They're supposed to have that event or something for NIO. And I think if that's true and they're falsified numbers, which is normal for China, if that's true, this stock is going to tank. It'll take pretty hard. I mean, that's why I only mess with Tesla. I mean, Tesla's proven and their numbers are just ridiculous, and why I continue to play it and why I feel comfortable going heavy when it's at specific supports that I like. Being said, let's go ahead and just look at the market in general. What happened today, my friends? I have no idea what happened today. She just dumped. She dumped pretty hard. Like I said, tech held well. I didn't even look at QQQ today. QQQ just dumped too. Dumped, and it just looked like everybody was repositioning, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't too crazy. Could be a bear flag. Again, depends how we open tomorrow. I think this year we're really going to run. I think we're just trying to find a base. Maybe we found that base today. But I really believe that we are going to tear up for a good chunk of the year with all the stimulus and everything. It might have to wait until Biden gets in, but I think also that's the other thing that's going on too is the vote for Georgia too. And if the Democrats can get the Senate, then that changes a lot of things. That's what a lot of people were talking about, why this dipped in, is priced in, that if they win the Senate, that could be what that is, that major dip. Could just be repositioning. I mean, you can tag it with whatever you want. It dipped. That's why I like to stick with technicals mostly on everything, because you just play the charts. If it dips, it dips. Look for supports. Actually hit a pretty decent support here, as you can see. There's pretty solid support it hit today. Being said, let's get into good old Tesla, because that's how we start this program, Tesla. So like I said, last Friday on this dip, I bought an option on this. It was quite a bit out of the money. I wasn't expecting to go way up. I tried to reduce risk that way. And I wrote it, let's see, it opened up. I ended up cutting it pretty early. I didn't catch this whole move up. I wasn't really worried about it. I started after I made some money off this thing. What I ended up actually doing was I was just watching my shares, and I sold a good chunk of my shares. I think it was around 736. Yeah, it tore up, and then I sold it right here when it started playing around. I just tagged out. So I cut my position size in half. As much as Tesla's going to run, I've got a feeling I've always played Tesla well. It could run. I wouldn't be surprised if it even tries to run to 800. If it will, I'll just be scalping options up to there. But right now, as far as like big position wise and shares, I'm definitely waiting. I think we're getting a little too high up there before we need a decent pullback. We've had a lot of running. I know Tesla, of course, Tesla in itself, zoom back out here. Tesla had this long consolidation period. So that's why we're running so much right now. But I do expect another one. And with today's pullback, whatever you want to call it, for whatever reason it was, it kind of had me wary of where we're going. Like I said, I still have shares in this. I still have a pretty decent amount, but I cut that position way back. I want a solid pullback. And then when it's that solid pullback comes, I'm looking for consolidation, because I feel like it's going to happen. I think we're going to get one more big pullback like that just before quarterly earnings. That is my thought process behind Tesla. Again, once it comes down and starts consolidating, then I'll go heavy again and go back into it. Airbnb, like I said today, I did end up getting out of the leap. The premium berm just kept burning. It held really good actually for a while. But then after this retest here, I got out. I let it drop down to here, and I started actually building out a shares position again. So I got quite a bit of shares down this zone here. Again, if it drops back down to 120, I'll definitely go heavy if it goes down there. I'm really expecting this to go to rip towards the end of the year once we get past all this jazz that's going on with Georgia and everything. So But that's where I am with that. Again, I'm just in shares in this now. No more leap. If it does tap down here, I'll get in a leap, definitely. But just shares right now. Not really worried about the red I caught on this. I've more than made up for that, so I'm not really worried about that. I actually made most of this back. Actually, that burn I had, or the red I had off of that, I made most of that back off of EvoGen as well. I did sell out of that position. That was the position I sold out of today on that pop. I can't. Once we get to that chart, I'll look at it. But I did sell EvoGen, and that pretty much covered my loss there. EvoGen over the weekend. I'll wait till I get to there, but I'll get more into EvoGen and the reasoning why I cut that position. I think I talked about it yesterday as well on the weekly update. Apple sold off. I'm not really, like I said, I really want to see what the market does. It's had some big rips. I think we've been waiting for these big rips for a while. This has really been huge. So it needs to come back down. Where would I look at it? Probably the 123-ish before even thinking about getting back into Apple. Again, right now I'm trying to be patient with what's going on. Facebook. I did take a Facebook position here today. It bounced off this resistance, or was holding here. I actually took a position here, and it popped back up. I pretty much broke even on it. So when it popped up here, I wasn't the green, but it wasn't a lot. So I ended up cutting that just because I didn't like the price action on it. And then obviously it sold off. It bounced out of the zone pretty good though. I don't know why I didn't get an alert on that before. Facebook tomorrow, it could be good if it holds above this zone. If it holds above 266.56, roughly. I don't want it to break that, that's for sure. That's the do not pass. That's the Gandalf, do not pass. Collect your $500 because then we're breaking down at that point. T-Doc, on the other hand, held well today. I mean, she dipped down a little bit, which I added a couple more shares here today. It's still holding this zone well. So as long as it's holding well in the hourly, I will continue to add to this. I mean, it's wedging down. It's going to break out here pretty soon. I much prefer playing T-Dog. With all this whipsawing and everything, I much prefer to play T-Dog with shares. Although I'm going to have to see. I'm trying to, once this actually pops up, I'm debating on that one. I'm kind of re-strategizing here after today, and I'm trying to see what I want to do. But I did add a T-Doc, BYND. It's still, like I said, it would consolidate. I think we're going to get a lot of consolidation here for a couple of days before we reverse back up. So I might add. I debated adding a little bit more today, but I'm going, like I said, I'm waiting. I kind of want to see what's going on with everything first. I think after the whole Georgia fiasco and the Fed meeting notes, I think comes out on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once that report comes out, I think we'll get a better understanding what's going on, and a little bit better direction for the market. AMD had a huge rip, then sold off. I wasn't even paying attention to the chips today. I need to actually set an alert on this though, because if it does dip down, I probably do want to buy this for a nice tear. The timing for these things definitely, because we're starting to look towards earnings, and I know people like to position before earnings, so I'm trying to wait for a good support, and we'll see. I like the earnings run up, but we'll see. WYNN, I am definitely keeping my eyes on this one. One thing to consider here first, though, is that a lot of the new virus stuff, right? The new flavor of virus that's out, right? In the lockdowns, I think Europe went on lockdown too. I think they went on like full lockdown too. So that was something else that happened today. With the lockdowns and stuff, I'm kind of being wary of this, but it's starting to sink down. in this 102, like I was talking about yesterday, like when it hits here, it's like a golden, like you want to grab it here and then it's good for a pop. But being said, it really depends. I mean, the lockdowns really aren't scaring people as much anymore. It's not anything new now. When it's new and it's fresh, it stings a little bit more. But right now it's not new anymore. So the new strands and everything, we'll see what happens. But WYNN is, again, something I really like out of the casinos. I like WYNN because it can really move. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. My eye is definitely on WYNN this week. I'm watching that one. Very good meat company. We had a nice little pop, kind of selling off. I debated buying more shares here. Let me see here. It kind of hit a pretty decent support today and started bouncing. So it really depends. It looks like it's going to come back up and then get rejected by these EMAs. It's typically what happens. As for the EMAs as well, I only play the 20, 50, and 200. Those have the biggest bounces off of them. So if I do scalp or I look to take position, I watch these EMAs. The way I was essentially taught was the 20 EMA is typically for, my mind is blinded, I can't even talk. My mind is drawing a blank here, for just traders like you and I, and then the 50 is made mainly for investors, right? Where investors typically take position. Again, I can't think of what the 20 is. Don't ask me. My brain is dead right now. It's been a long day. The 200 always gets a really good bounce and typically will reverse off of a 200, especially if it's a rising support. Normally when you're going through it, you don't have as much restriction going through it, through the 200. It can slow it down a little bit, but you don't get big rejections off of it. You typically get big rejections when all three of these are kind of starting to point down and slam into it, then you get a big rejection off it. A very good company. Watching that, still in shares. Don't really plan on selling this one, but we'll see. Right now, I'm debating to see what goes on with everything. Again, I'd much rather add to this than sell it. That's for sure. I've had it for quite a while, so the same with Planet 13. It's still holding range really well. I was excited to see this candle actually today. And then we just died off like everything else. So it's still playing range well. Again, if you're looking for position 225, would be good for Planet 13, expecting big things. All right, EvoGen. I did sell my position today. It popped up here to, I think I sold it like at 560. I sold it somewhere around here. I think it was $5.56. I sold it. It tagged out. Mental tag out. I don't typically put a tag unless it's something I'm not watching. Typically I'm watching these. Once it hits an alert, then I start watching it. But yeah, so I tagged out of that one. I'm looking to take another position. If it plays this range, I might grab it back down here. It's 467. We'll see. I like EvoGen. I do have some other shares. I guess the position I originally took on this the other day, which was over here in this part of the zone. Again, I sold it up here, so it covered a lot of most of the loss from the Airbnb burn. So nonetheless, looking for repositioning in this one. I do have a couple of random shares in another account that I don't plan on touching for a while because this one, I guess I can get into that. This one, I'm really waiting. After I did some research this weekend, and the whole genomics space is going to take a while. Like there'll be bigger movement in tech, right? Tech is still innovating like massively right now for the next 5 years. And genomics, I think we'll get there, we'll 10x, but you still got a long time before the DNA splicing and all that stuff is really going to be effective. I think there's just a lot of hype before with Kathy Woods and a lot of hype with It's a genomic space and being 10x. I mean, if you're going to hold it for long term, then yeah, I would suggest getting in it now. But if you are looking like shorter term, like 2 to 3, 4, 5 years out, maybe 5 years, we start really seeing a massive push. But if you were just trying to get your foot in the door, then I would suggest now. But ultimately, I think if you're just looking a couple of years down the road, I would stay with tech. Big tech for right now. I wouldn't be messing with genomics right now. Again, it's just read the scrolling bar on the bottom because there's a reason that's there. Planters is one I did take today. I did start a new position in Planters. I didn't take a huge position. It's still selling off. I did tag it. I want to say I got it right here on this 2. I got it somewhere in here today. I think I got it kind of in the middle. Only because I saw it pushing up. I think I actually grabbed it here because I grabbed it here and it started pushing up and then it sold off. I'll probably actually I'll be adding to this one. I like Planters, and I think it could actually. I think it would be a good year for it. It's one of those techs, AI and everything. I mean, it's still all fresh. Everybody still likes it, but I think it's got a good run coming. So I'm trying to build this position out again. I'm only in some light shares. I don't even think I looked at leaps for this thing. I'm kind of holding off on the leaps. I want to see what where the market's going. So if I take any positions, if I do take options, it would be for a scalp. Normally I'll do weekly scalps if I'm going to do that, but right now I'm just waiting. Right now I'm just using shares. Right now I don't want to take any leaps with the uncertainty of the market right now and the way it's just moving. Once we get like a good understanding of where it's moving, then I think I'll start grabbing leaps again. Shop. It's continuing to sell off. It gets under 1,000. I'm telling you, you have to buy leaps or shares as soon as it hits under 1,000. So if that alarm goes off, you guys will be the first to know. The beta gang will be the first to know that, hey, it's time to get in shop. But yeah, shop is good. I'm watching that to break below that. I don't know if e-commerce is just getting slammed. Spots, it broke down today. I debated taking a position here, but it's looking like it wants to sell even more. So although I did say it might be a good one, I think we're breaking down and the EMAs are starting to push it down. So I think we could see more selling before spot really reverses here. I think the next big support you probably would want would be the 292. That's when I'd start looking at it. Otherwise, I wouldn't touch it until then, unless it breaks this trend. Which, if it breaks this trend, then you can look at it retesting the high here and then see what happens after that. But I think right now, a lot of things are just going to sell. To be honest, HD bounced perfectly out of the zone. I didn't take a position though. As you can see, it just popped, and things just are looking bad. Like it's not. That's why I lighten the load on Tesla, and I'm just starting to take small positions and things. Why I've sold the other one as well. I also took a position here. Oh, come on. Come on, TOS. Gotta love TOS. Square. I did take a position on Square today. It is on this support level here, so I did take a small position. I wanted to build this out. I actually took it and it popped. I think I took it right here and it pops. Or here and it pops. I took it right within I took it on the support because I think it's, this is really going to rip. I think maybe we go for all-time. I think we're going to at least go for all-time highs for the next run up into earnings. So I did take a small position, shares position in SQ Lemonade. Lemonade looks like it's trying to wedge here. I don't want Lemonade unless it breaks, or I'm waiting for it to either break up or down. Either depending on how we open tomorrow, that looks like it's just going to break down. I may even hold the support. Not really looking at Lemonade. ZM looks like it might be reversing here. So I thought about taking this, but it's so high, and it's for shares. Options are okay. I like scalp. I could scalp ZM, but I prefer just taking shares with this one. The premium burn is pretty bad on ZM. I haven't looked at the theta on leaps on this though. Definitely needs to break that before I even consider doing anything. It needs to start making higher highs and lower lows. Disney finally looked like the gas is running out. Not interested in that until it comes down. Snow. I looked at this today, didn't touch it. Still waiting for it to come down. Won't start looking at it till it hits that 231 mark. Baba, Jack Ma is missing. I'm surprised it actually didn't sell any more than it did. So I don't know. Baba is a huge company. I really don't want to take positions in this only because if something bad has happened to him, I can see this thing really tanking hard. And I know it's a big company. Everybody plays. I don't typically play it. Chips had a huge run today. I'm not really sure what the news was that made this blast off the way it did, but definitely if it comes back down, I'll look at it again. I think I did look at it here, but I didn't take anything. Always something else going on with Tesla or something else. Cost still exploded. I never took it out of there. I only like to talk about it and not like actually do anything with it. Twillo, nothing there. CRM, it did pop out of the zone pretty well actually. I hit it, actually went lower, so I didn't mess with it. Again, still waiting to see. We talked about NAIO, Amazon. Not looking at Amazon until it hits down here at the 30.90 mark. If it gets that low, it looks like it's bear flagging right now. Pins. Oh, pins. E-commerce is just hurting. I'm not really looking at pins. I don't really see. Let me look at. There's something else I want to look on here. I think the overall. Let's see here. MP. BNL. This stock is actually really good to the Billard. They do electric buses, which I was in it. I was in it at $8, and I sold it when it popped up. I haven't played it. I've been kind of waiting for it to come down. Just waiting to see. What we got? Snap. Nope. Elf. Nope. I thought there was something else. I think ARK Invest. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna look at. This is one I took last week. I talked about last week. It's still holding support really well here. I'm looking for a pop here to the 109. If it gets up to here, I'm definitely going to keep a stop right underneath this. Now I'm only in shares in this this index of ARK Invest for Geonomics, but if it does pop up here, I'm definitely going to keep a stop underneath it because I'm in shares. So if it doesn't break, I'm out of this, and I'll wait. Wait till later on this one. TDOC, I'm kind of the same way. I want to get it. I think we can get a nice pop back up here to 223. Again, if it can't break all-time high, my stop loss is right underneath that. I don't want to be in that any longer. Protolabs. Need to be watching this because we're starting to get down to those levels. Again, if it starts getting down to that 139 mark, I'll just start looking at it again. We'll start looking at her, Captain, and see what she's got. I think she might be all right. I think that's all I got. Pow. Actually looks like it's wedging. Oh, this is a ammo company. They're like a tracer, but you can see them like a typical tracer. You can see, I guess, from both sides. But this particular bullet, only the person shooting the bullet can actually see the light from the bullet, where your enemy cannot see it if you're firing it. So they got a patent technology. They're actually pretty good. I've considered buying it a couple times. I actually should have bought it because it's popped to 4, but it's all right. Still getting the money somewhere. That's all that matters. I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. Like again, like I said, I'm pretty much waiting to see what the market's gonna do. I think it's all just waiting on. I think the Jack Ma thing is big, and I think Senate, the House and the Senate, to see where that goes. Once that's all decided, then I think we're going to get a direction at that point. I think I really don't see like a black sheep or something like that happening to where the market's going to crash, the black swan, and seeing the market crash. I don't think that's going to happen. There's just too much stimulus and too much else going on. Everybody's talking about a crash. I think at some point, you can talk about a crash now, and it can happen tomorrow, or it can happen 5 years from now. There's so much uncertainty. So I like to play more technicals. I like to know the news though, and know what's going on, because that helps with setups and breakouts. But for the most part, if you can I like to keep it technicals, because technicals do much better, especially if you kind of let it, like I have these zones, especially if you let it drop to the second zone, you get better action out of there. You get a lot more reverses and stuff like that out of it, being good with price action and whatnots. So if you guys did enjoy this video, remember to hit the like button on the way out. Till next time, guys.